Alrighty, so we have 4a minus 5 all squared. So before we do anything, you can't just take the squared and multiply it and put it on this and put it on this to get something like, 16a squared minus 25. Okay, that is incorrect. It's not right, and we'll show you why. So this is the most common error. Students just stick the squared on both of these things and call it good. Wrong, completely wrong. Okay, so here's why. The squared is touching the parenthesis. All right. So what that actually means is parenthesis, it's that thing times itself. I mean, that's what a squared means. Like if you had, like if I just say the number 5 and it was squared, what that means is it's 5 times 5, right? So we have the number 4a minus 5. So it is in fact 4a minus 5 times 4a minus 5, okay? So it's this times this. It's a binomial times another binomial. And they're both the same, by the way. And to actually calculate it properly, you have to do the double distributive property, I call, where I distribute the 4a and multiply that by everything in there. And then you've got to multiply everything by negative 5. Okay? We're going to start and just multiply everything by 4a. 4a times 4a is also somewhere where folks are going to mess up. So I'm going to take my time on that. It looks like this. 4a times 4a. So write that down. Okay? It's 4a times 4a. Take your time. What this actually means is you've got 4 times 4. You can rearrange it, right? And then you've got an a times another a. Does that make sense? You actually have 4 numbers. You got a couple of 4s and a couple of a's all being multiplied, right? Does that make sense? So what does that make altogether? Take your time. Yeah. 16 what? Yes. 4 times 4 is 16. A times a can be written a squared, or a to the power of 2. Okay, so this is another key point where students mess up. So this is 16a squared. Good. Now, 4a times negative 5. What does that give us? Negative 20a. Good. Now, negative 5 times 4a and then negative 5 times negative 5. What's negative 5 times 4a? Good, negative 20a. What's negative 5 times negative 5?
Positive 25.
Negative times negative, positive. 5 times 5, 25. Good. Now we have 4 terms here, and we can tidy it up by adding like terms. We have a squared term, an a term, and a number. Now you can only add or subtract like terms. Which of those, what are the like terms in this expression? What terms are alike? Yes.
28.
Yeah, you got negative 20a and negative 20a. 20 bad guys and 20 more bad guys. What does that make when I add them together?
48.
Say it again.
Negative 40.
Good. Negative 40a. 20 bad guys, 20 bad guys, 40 bad guys. Right? Now, if you want to, you can change subtraction to plus negative, and it says, add a positive negative 20a and then add another, negative 20a plus a negative 20a. If that helps you do that. You don't have to do that, but sometimes students like to do that because it helps them think. But it's just 20 negatives and 20 negatives makes 40 negatives, right? Okay. And of course we have our 16a squared and we have our plus 25. Now, can we simplify this any further? No. These are not like terms. It's an a squared term, an a and a number. They're not like terms, and so that's the answer. You're done. Now, what's the difference between this correct answer and this most common incorrect answer?
Well, they're missing the negative 40a.
We're missing the negative 40a, right? And you also might have messed up on the sign because like that's a negative 25 should be plus. But in any case, the thing about math is if you make one mistake, then, well, it's actually all wrong anyway. So, but yeah, so that is correct. This is not, and this is why. It has to be, when you expand it out, you realize, oh, there's more to it than just multiplying the squared in. You can't multiply the squared in when you have things being added or subtracted. It doesn't work because these are terms, and it's more complicated than just sticking a squared on both terms, right? Cool.